What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Talking about someone.
He was talking about someone.
Yeah. We are good to go.
All right.
Should have came into that theme song music. Or I said on Threads the other day you were going to come into something because McLaren overtook Aston Martin.
I should have. You know what?
You want to restart?
No, because I can't think of anything good enough for McLaren in this this short amount of time. But yes, I am very, very, very happy, and we will discuss it further. But
yes, we will.
Very, very happy. I did check this morning too when I was at work because I thought of that, and I was like, where do they? I was like, did they get it because of everything that happened at the race? And then I looked, and I was like, oh,
yeah, because
they fucking got it.
McLaren posted something about it, like them moving up, and then after they both placed during the sprint they officially only needed 6 points after the sprint race weekend. I mean, and then you had both Oscar and Alonso retire, but Lando placing well was more than enough. So,
yeah.
There.
You love to see it.
You love to see it.
You love to see it. So now they just have how many teams? They've got like an 80-point spread to Ferrari. So feasible, but not likely.
Well, one or both Ferraris will be taking a penalty for a new power unit in the next 2 races. So
that's right, they will. I forgot about that.
But yes. But we'll get into it. Hello, everyone.
Hello there.
Welcome. Oh, I'm bad today. Hold on.
Right. Oh, it's 33.
Whoa, how do you know that quick?
Because I checked statistics before we started.
Oh, yeah.
That it was episode 32, which we thought was going to... We were hoping that was going to have more plays because of our new friends on Threads, and we did not.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll get there. But yes, welcome back to episode 33.
We did just get a new follower on Twitter. I'm growing.
I'm growing.
Now sit at 83 followers on Twitter. Take that.
Yes, so we are back with another episode of F1 Underground. As always, he's Owen. I'm Casey.
Damn right I am.
Yes, that's right. He's a McLaren fan. I'm the Ferrari fan. So
we try not to be biased.
We all know.
I don't think it goes that well.
No, it doesn't go that well. No, to the fact, we'll get into it later on, but to the fact when the news came out about who got disqualified after the race, I came back later on at the wedding to see it officially, and I posted, and people said, we were waiting for your reaction.
People know now.
People know.
Our friends on Threads know, and I think they were very disappointed with me tweeting during the sprint shootout.
Well, you also had, it's the sprint shootout. It's not like it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
You were fine. I read back. But yeah, so we're going to recap the USGP, and then we'll do some predictions for the Mexico GP. Because it's race number 2 of the triple header. But as always, we will go into our meme of the week. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go. Does yours have to do with the disqualifications from this week?
Yes, yeah, they both do.
Damn, okay. All right, yeah, I'll go first then.
Okay.
I'll go first. I didn't want to, spoil it, and I thought maybe we could use it as, a segue into the race recap, but yeah. So, Ferrari posted this picture after Coda and said, letting the sparks fly in Austin. And while this is a fantastic picture, this would be like a great picture. The comment on Reddit is, this aged like fresh milk. Obviously, everything that happened with Charles, he was disqualified because the planks underneath his car were eroded away, which we'll do a little bit more explaining later. Or actually, do you want to do it now? Or do you want to do it now?
No, we'll go into because I have that as the first before we even go into more team specific race recaps. So since it was such a big thing,
the car was running too low to the floor essentially, and it's hilarious because they're running too low to the floor, and now they have sparks flying, and they're posting it on the picture, which I'd be curious to see if this picture is still posted or up.
Oh, it's Instagram. Ferrari. It's 100% still up. I will check right now.
I'll check right now, too. Let's see who can get there first. It's not up. Oh, maybe it is. Hold on.
It is right there.
Where?
No, it's right there.
Where?
3 days ago.
Oh, there it is. Yep, you're right.
I
didn't scroll down enough.
First comment, that's what caused you and Lewis the penalty. Just a joke.
Just a joke. It's not really a joke. That's just...
No, I think they're saying that the team is just a joke. Because...
Second comment says, and letting the points fly after the race.
Literally.
That's fantastic.
And going for a one stop after your other driver was the only driver to go on the mediums during the sprint race. So you thought you would figure it out, but whatever.
You thought. Don't get into your rant yet. Fun. We have a block of time scheduled for that.
A block of time. We have a block of time.
Got the calendar event blocked off to...
Yes.
But yeah, that's my meme of the week. Just something funny.
I like it.
The unfortunate circumstances with Ferrari and Mercedes, but Mercedes was smart. Yeah. Didn't post anything.
No. Ferrari just kept shooting themselves in the foot. They literally said... They tweeted about the bad news of his disqualification, but said, in the same tweet, literally one press of return or enter down, was like, but congratulations on Carlos getting P3. People were like, he didn't get it because he, like, deserved it. He literally, like, they were getting destroyed. I might have responded to that one. Wine drunk at the wedding.
Oh, good. That's good. Damn. You know what? Everybody go find that. Go find that right now.
No, it's not
Go find that tweet or that thread, whatever you call threads.
I can tell you what it says right now. I think I just said you guys were a joke. Complete joke of a team.
Damn. Sounded like Dad when he talked about the Flyers.
Yeah, I did. Hold on. I said you guys are a joke, a complete and utter joke.
Wow. Damn, Casey going for the fucking jugular.
Mm-hmm. They tried literally getting us with the bad news first, and then wanted to sprinkle on top.
It's a compliment sandwich. You know, it's when you want to give somebody bad news, you give them a little piece of good news, and then you slide in the bad news, and then you follow it up with good news.
Because no. Okay. We'll get to it. Okay, yes, but going off of that, this is my first meme. So this is how 1644 fans woke up this morning, meaning yesterday.
Yes. This is fantastic.
It's this one.
I love the in the pool picture. It's so... no thoughts. And then poor Lewis. It's just pain.
Yes. And then you had the best Instagram post the two of them could ever have put out together. They did a collab Instagram post,
Oh no!
So it showed up on both. You didn't see this?
No, I don't follow the drivers on Instagram. I probably should know.
No, okay. So you know how on Instagram you can do tag collaborator, and then it shows up on both feeds.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I've seen sports before.
Lewis and Charles posted this, and the caption was "mood."
That is fantastic. You know, I have to give them props on that one. That is taking advantage of their situation. Yeah. And trying to make the best out of it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
people even were going, like, so then there's people making memes because of this, and people were saying that it was like pretend DMs between Leclerc and Hamilton, because if you look at Leclerc's Instagram feed, it's aesthetically pleasing. All the pictures match. It's all the same, like, filter, whatever. So it was between him and Lewis is like, you want me to add this filter to it? And Charles was like, yes, please, thank you. So, yeah. But then I made this. I said, if now's the time you two want to collab on music, now's the time to go.
That's true. That'd be a fantastic album cover, too. That'd be so good.
That was they have the marketing right there, ready for use.
Roll.
Just credit me, and it will be more. You don't even have to actually credit me, so it's fine.
Yeah,
you don't have to credit me at all. But yes, so we will move on to 1 second. The USGP recap.
USGP.
Yeah, let me see if this article is working, because earlier it was
otherwise known as COTA, or Circuit of the Americas,
or everyone show up as a cowboy.
Or the cowboy race, yep. Or the only race we'll ever be able to afford to attend.
That's true, because they literally were already posting tickets for next year. You can get 3 days for like $300 in the grandstand. I know, but I can't. We will have another wedding next year that same weekend, so.
Maybe
one time. Maybe one time. But yeah, before we get into the actual F1 race recap, I was actually able to watch some of the F1 Academy on F1 TV coverage. You could literally have gotten coverage anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world, either on YouTube TV. I think even Twitch was streaming it. So it was just like normal. The F1 TV coverage was the Sky Sports coverage, which was nice, because you had Naomi Schiff being one of the main commentators. I don't know if it was Crofty or Martin Brundle that were in the box. I mean, she's not everyone's favorite for good reasons. Danica Patrick was also there talking to the drivers and stuff. But it is an interesting format. They do 3 races each weekend. There's 1 practice session. I don't even know if there was a qualifying. Can't remember because I didn't see one. And then there's 3 races. They were each like 10 to 15 laps long.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And they get like...
So I missed this on Saturday. I meant to watch it, and I got caught up packing and everything, so I missed this. But so when they finished the first race, did they then carry the same positions over into the next race? Like if I started second but finished 5th, do I then start in 5th for the next one?
No, it's like... So here you go. So the weekend format... So there's 1 practice, or free practices are 40 minutes long, and then a qualifying is 15 minutes. So before race 1, there are 2 free practice sessions of 40 minutes and 2 qualifying sessions of 15 minutes. Race 1 is 30 minutes plus 1 lap. Race 2 is 20 minutes plus 1 lap. And race 3 is 30 minutes plus 1 lap. So I guess it's however many... Yeah, but then it says,
it's like an endurance race too?
Okay. So hold on. So it says the driver securing pole position in the first qualifying session will start race 1 from P1. The driver securing pole position in the second qualifying session will start race 3 from P1. The first 8 finishers in the first qualifying session will start race 2 in reverse order. So say... So listen, okay, so say, yes, so what was her name? Sorry, I don't want to get around. So Martia Garcia was the first F1 Academy race winner of the season, of this, in their history. So say she gets pole position in qualifying, the first qualifying session. So race 1, she starts from P1.
Mm-hmm.
But then if she finishes P1 in the first race, she'll start 8th in race 2 because it's reverse order. So the first 8 are reverse grid order, which is what people want a sprint race weekend to be, a reverse grid order, because I think they do it in F2 and F3 as well.
Okay.
And then they have a second qualifying, and the driver who secures pole position in the second qualifying, so say it's a different girl, she starts P1 in race 3. So yeah, there's always different.
Right. So I'm.
What are you on? Are you on F1? Here, I'm
on F1 Academy's website right now, and I'm looking at round 7 summary, and I see race 1 M Garcia, race 2
Alcubisa. Yeah, they're sisters. There's 2 of them.
And then
now you got it right.
Race 3 was J Edgar. So how come Martina Garcia won then technically?
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Because it's like they have like 7 rounds, I think, throughout the entire season. She had the most points at the end. So she's like the Max Verstappen. She won the Drivers' Championship for the F1 Academy.
Oh, okay. I see that. That's my fault. I was looking at...
If you go to the link I just put in the... No, if you go to the link I just put in the Google sheet, it explains the entire format.
Rules and regulations.
And like the point and stuff. So yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yes. So, but there was other stuff. So obviously Susie Wolf, there's literally no one better to be in charge of F1 Academy. She was on a lot of the coverage. There's one clip I posted where she's saying, because there's videos of Lewis making his way and supporting. And Lewis was a big supporter of the W Series. He was one that was very vocal when W Series went under. And she basically said, why is it only Lewis? Like, there's 19 other drivers, 10 teams, and the 10 teams are going to have their liveries with drivers next year. They need to start showing support. And it was just like, you tell him, Susie Wolf.
Yeah, she's absolutely not wrong.
Yeah. And I didn't question Mercedes not supporting F1 Academy and Susie Wolf because of Toto. I did not question that. So George then handed out trophies for one of the races. He made his way to the paddock. But then Carlos Sainz spent time with Martina Garcia because she's also a fellow Spaniard. So they took a picture together. And she's also a Prima racing driver, which is the Italian racing team.
Right.
But then what else? Oh, Lewis was at the end of one of the races, congratulating them, at Parc Fermé. So yeah, it will be. And then you had the news right before this weekend that Bianca Bustamante is signing with McLaren, so she will be representing McLaren.
That was huge.
Yeah,
huge
I mean she's
release.
huge.
Yeah,
McLaren knows how to pick drivers that have good social media skills. Oscar, I'm taking Oscar out of it because he's an anomaly. He doesn't really have social media skills. But I mean, you have Lando. Most of their IndyCar drivers all have good followings. But Bianca, I follow her on TikTok. I follow her on everything. She's so good. So yeah, that's a huge opportunity for her, obviously, and then McLaren as well. That was a good signing on Zach Brown. I have to give that to him. She was in the garage on Sunday during the race too with McLaren in the orange polo. But people wanted her to get signed by Ferrari because she's number 16. She just won in Monza for F1 Academy. And she also came from Prima as well. So people were like, Ferrari, she's legit right there.
Yeah.
And they let her go. So
that might be a missed opportunity from Ferrari, but...
Yeah, but if they're looking at the girl who just won the entire thing, who's with Prima...
That's a good point.
Yeah. But it will be interesting to see. I think one of the girls was retiring, because you can only do it until you're a certain age. I just had that up. Hold on. Yeah, you can only do it. Yes, you have to be 25 years or younger.
Wow, okay.
And you can start at 16. So, that Jessica Edgar, that won the race 3, she literally looks like a child. She's like a baby. I don't even think she was actually spraying champagne because she was definitely 18 or younger.
Technically not allowed to. Yeah.
Yeah. But the one girl had to retire because she was too old to be in F1 Academy. They can go on to different forms of motorsport after, or they can leave. The one girl was going to be a performance engineer for Aston Martin, I think.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I mean, it helps them get in the door with teams regardless. So,
Right.
yeah, shout out to Susie Wolf. I am excited that every round next year will be televised. So,
yeah, I remember us talking about that when that news broke originally. And like I said, I wanted to watch this weekend. I got caught up doing other stuff. But the fact that they're broadcasting all of them next year is going to be really nice, because that means I'll definitely tune in for one round and see, this different racing format and everything, and see, the drivers, So
yeah, no,
I'm excited.
I know. I think it was race 2 that the Bianca, she stalled at the start, so she got started way late because she stalled and ended up in the points. She ended up like P9. People were like, okay. McLaren, they do have a good one in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have a good one. But yes,
McLaren,
so I wanted to.
McLaren socials were posting that everywhere.
Well, it's huge. She's the first one that's officially been signed by a team, that's being backed by an F1 team. McLaren's the first people to do that. Mercedes hasn't, and his wife is in charge.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there was a girl who has an Alfa Romeo style livery, and I can't remember if it was Alfa Romeo or not, but yeah, I'm excited to see them continue, and hopefully it leads to someone in F1. So
yeah, that would be sweet.
But yeah, it'll be exciting to see as more drivers or more teams announce drivers. But yes. Moving on or no?
Yes, sorry, I was looking up the McLaren article about Bianca because I want to read it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
She's good videos because I don't think she came from a lot. She's posted before, her parents worked multiple jobs to get her.
Is she a YouTuber?
I don't know if she has YouTube. She might now, maybe because of McLaren's reach, and maybe if she.
I wouldn't be shocked if she at least.
I know she posts on TikTok a lot, so.
Getting to know, it doesn't. Oh, she has a YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know what she does with it, but I mean, now she might.
Her last post was 1 month ago, so I could definitely see her. Definitely see her posting more now.
Yeah. But yes, moving on to the F1 race weekend. The highlight of the weekend for me was Leclerc getting pole.
You were very happy about that. Yes, you were very happy about that.
I was very happy about that.
I mean, I don't blame you for getting excited about that. Ambulance is really excited about it too out there. Yeah, that benefits of living next to an ambulance dispatch. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I didn't have a chance to watch qualifying, so I can't speak on it,
Oh, qualifying was Friday? Yeah, you were at. No, qualifying was exciting. I mean, as usual.
Yeah.
There was a lot of track limits. I mean, that's why Leclerc ended on pole, because Max's fastest lap got deleted.
Yeah.
I mean, that radio message between the Leclerc and his engineer is iconic. He literally says, Max fastest lap. And Leclerc's like, I'm literally punching my helmet, my steering wheel, I'm pissed. And he comes back and says, lap time deleted, Verstappen. And Leclerc goes, fuck, can you say Verstappen first? Name first. And then lap time deleted. Because he thought his was getting deleted.
Oh, that's good. I would think the same thing if I was in that situation. If my radio engineer came on and was like, lap time deleted, I'd be like, fuck me.
Yeah.
God damn it. And then him saying Verstappen and be like, oh, dude, lead with that next time.
Yeah. But yeah, so there was a lot of lap times deleted. Let me go back. I'm trying to think if there's anything else notable. Is that when? No, Leclerc called George Mr. Russell during sprint shootout, right?
Yes, because that was the penalty.
He impeded.
Between, Russell impeded Leclerc. And then they got on the radio and they said, penalty for George, impeding or something, however it was conveyed to Charles.
Oh, yeah.
Charles got on and was like, oh, thank you, Mr. Russell. And I don't know if that's...
Yeah, it's penalty... He said, penalty for you, Mr. Russell.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Also an iconic radio. I mean, I knew Leclerc meant business when he didn't show up in his red qualifying pants. So
yeah, I noticed that.
You don't wear them all weekend, so
he's trying to switch it up.
He either left them by mistake or he turned 26 and said, "I'm no longer wearing these qualifying pants."
He feels like the type
he's a grown man.
He could leave his pants somewhere and forget them.
We had the best threads because I posted from that TikTok last week of the kid guy. It's like, this is you watching, and it literally is me watching every race, and he's a Leclerc fan. And I posted, said, "Say a prayer, everyone," and someone said, "Oh, are you a Leclerc fan?" I didn't know. I said, don't like to be like very out there with it. Keep it as Devil. He might be my fave. But yes, it was also the 100th Grand Prix weekend for Russell and Norris.
Yes, it was. Nintendo had some sweet stickers and released a couple cool different things for.
That was the coolest helmet to have 100th GP for. Like, each sticker represented a different race. Then you could have bought the sweatshirt with it. Yeah, that was exciting. Meanwhile, it was Leclerc's 100th race start with Ferrari, and he forgot and came out with a football helmet that said "touchdown for Austin" on the top. So every time you saw him in the car on the broadcast, all you saw was "touchdown for Austin." It was his worst helmet ever.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Worst helmet ever. It did make me think, though, we should in the off season, we should do our like top 10 favorite helmets and liveries from the season.
Oh,
there's been a lot.
Good.
Yeah,
that's really good.
We each have our own list. Yeah.
I know mine already.
Yeah, and I don't know how I missed it, but K-Mag's special helmet was sick too. It was Route 66 inspired. So like the map of Route 66 was on top.
Really?
I missed that one completely.
How did we miss that?
Yeah, it was cool. I don't know. I almost missed Nico Hulkenberg's, and then K-Mag was on the screen, and I was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Oh, Kevin Magnussen." Whose daughter joined him in the media pen on Sunday, and it stole the show.
Does she really?
You see, like, her? Yeah, she's like so little.
Her right here.
She's like, her eyes are peeking over the little like the railing.
Did he not post it on his Twitter? Come on.
No, he doesn't do. I think it was on Haas's Instagram.
Oh, of course it was. Son of a bitch.
Just look up Kevin Magnussen's Route 66 helmet.
I like looking for it, though. I like the anticipation of trying to find it. All right, I'll find it later. But that's a very cool helmet. That's a very, very cool helmet.
Yeah. But yes, George Russell didn't really go all out for the 100th Grand Prix. He had special merch, but it was like very George Russell. It was like vintage, like patches sewn onto sweatshirts. So that was really it. But he didn't do a helmet or anything.
That's weird. You would think you would make a weird deal out of that.
Yeah, and screw Red Bull, because that should be the 2019 rookies. That should be Russell, Norris, and Alex Albon, all celebrating their 100th GP together.
Yeah, I agree.
But because they had to kick Alex Albon to the curb, and Helmut Marko has said that he regrets it. He thinks they did it too soon, and they put him in that Red Bull car too soon. Now they're eating the words, because look at Alex Albon go. But yes.
Ooh, there's a mini Lando Norris helmet for $49.
Oh, that's not expensive. That's not bad. I thought it was gonna be like $500.
Well, it's 1:5 scale, so I don't know how like large that is, but it's from the 100 GP, and he's got the 100 stickers on it.
That's cool.
The 1-2 scale is $224.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. McLaren also did a cool video with him. He was sitting at a table with like Polaroids from every race, and he was like going through memories of different races that he's in the career. And someone said Ferrari could never do this with Charles Leclerc because he would literally have PTSD and get unwanted trauma.
You're not wrong.
He would have a panic attack on the screen.
You're not wrong. Not a lot of happy memories for him to look back on.
No, and I don't blame him.
He's most recently.
Yeah. But yes, moving on to the main issue of the weekend. Like, you can't even, like, the race was totally overshadowed by the disqualification. Of Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Like, I had no clue it was Max Verstappen's 50th Grand Prix win because
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he's like it's like he's with the crowd of like Schumacher, Vettel, Hamilton, because they've all won 50 Grand Prix.
Damn.
So yes, but that was completely overshadowed by Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc being disqualified for a plank because their plank was not correct. The plank rules weren't met. It's literally the weirdest thing. I've never heard of it until this weekend.
But it makes sense, though.
It does make sense. But I have issues with the FIA.
Yeah.
But I'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Do you want to explain the plank rule, or do you want me to do it?
Whatever. If you looked into it, I don't care. I also added another article from Motorsport, but
I looked into it. I read an article by our dear friend Mark Schofield.
Yes.
He kind of just went over what happened and everything, and essentially, on the bottom of the car, there's this fiberglass composite material plank that is put onto the bottom of every car. And all it essentially does is it checks to see if your car is set too low by basically if it erodes away during the race within a certain degree, then you are riding too low. And the reason they do that is because when you lower the cars too much, you get more speed through corners. At certain points, more speed is dangerous. So it's a safety precaution established after the death of Ayrton Senna. You know, it was something that came about after the whole sport was kind of revolutionized because of that death and everything, and because of other incidents that happened as well. But it's essentially a very low-tech way that makes sure that the car isn't riding too low. And what happens is after the race is over, kind of like a random drug test for like college athletes, the FIA picks random cars to go and test for and say like, hey, how much is this eroded? And it just so happened this week that both Lewis and Charles were picked, and then they found that they were both, you know, kind of within a violation of it.
It said Charles Leclerc's I don't know about Lewis Hamilton's, but it says Leclerc's plank was under the minimum by a few tenths of a millimeter in the FIA inspections. So, and there were 4 cars inspected. It was the top 3 and Leclerc. Yeah. So the pole sitter and then the top 3.
So from what I read, it essentially, like I said, it works like a random drug test. Like it's literally just like the cars finish and then the teams are told. And it's just like, hey, you're getting floor tested today. You know, someone could get wheel tested. Someone could get tire pressure tested, you know, stuff like that, different things. The luck of the draw just kind of fell on Lewis and Charles this weekend, and they both unfortunately violated it. The weirdest part about it was there's nothing in place right now that causes, since Lewis's car got checked, there's nothing in place right now.
This is my issue.
The FIA to then go and check George's car, which is weird to me because the cars are obviously spec'd differently to their drivers' likings and whatnot. But to me, it makes sense in my mind of, okay, Lewis, you fell in violation of this. We're going to go check your teammate's car. If they find that he's good, then you find that he's good. Or if you find that he's not good, he finds that he's not good. I understand where your frustration comes from, and I can probably beat you to it because of, since Charles was DQ'd, why wasn't Carlos's car checked, and then he was also DQ'd as well?
Well, and I also saw, Formula Racers posted from one of the F1 reporters that they both ran very similar setups.
Right.
So if Charles Leclerc's setup and Carlos Sainz's setup were very similar, there's a chance. And I think I also saw people were saying because of how bumpy the track was also playing a part.
Yeah.
So, and it's not something that happens every race weekend. Like, I've never heard of this before. So that's what people are more confused because it happened.
I genuinely think that it is just kind of like oh shit, the stars aligned for something like this to occur. It was always feasible because of the way that we do it. Speaking from, the FIA's point of view of like, yeah, it's possible that, every single person that we randomly test could get disqualified. But yeah, clearly it doesn't happen a lot since, we've never seen it before.
That's what the Motorsport article I read said. The most famous incident right now is still when Michael Schumacher was disqualified from the 1994 Belgian Grand Prix. That's been the most famous incident since this past weekend, because I feel like this one's going to take the cake.
Well,
for two drivers especially.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Whether the FIA comes around and kind of, reevaluates the rule now and everything because of this incident, or, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, the idea is if you're getting randomly checked, then it creates this atmosphere of like, well, if it could happen to any of us randomly, then all the teams are going to abide by these rules, And like I said, I don't think Mercedes and Ferrari spec their cars this weekend being like, oh, hey, we know we're going to be in violation of this, but like, we'll be fine because we'll get the lucky side of it and we won't get picked. And then, oh shit, we got picked. I think it was just, like you said, there's certain things that the FIA can't control, whether it's on the track, stuff like that, but the one thing I really liked about it was when a reporter asked Toto Wolff about it, he said, he was like, it sucks. It's annoying that it happened, but he goes, those are the rules. And we were in violation of the rules. Like, we have to hold true to them. And it was like, okay, yeah, like you're not wrong. I definitely do think the reevaluation, if there is going to be one from the FIA, needs to come in the idea of, okay, if your teammate gets pegged for it,
yes, exactly.
Both cars need to be checked then.
Yeah, if your teammate's getting in trouble, your car should also be checked. Because
as much as they are teammates, we've had multiple conversations about teammates racing. They are competing, so it's you could conceivably have the situation where let's say Charles and Carlos are fighting for second place in the drivers' championship, and this is the last race of the year, and Charles loses out on it because he gets disqualified from the spot, and Carlos finishes in points. And then obviously it gets checked after the race, so there's nothing they can do about it during the race. Yeah,
it is weird. So I went back. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think it removes any sort of like fight, for lack of a better word, from the drivers that it happens to, or like equal chance is a better term. Equal chance from any of the drivers that it happens to. Because that's the thing, like I said, you don't know during the race. The fact that you get randomly checked afterwards is a good policy. Like it works, from doing it. But yeah, like you could conceivably have this situation of, shit, now my biggest competitor just overtook me because of a floor issue that I didn't even know I could fix during the race, or I didn't even know that I was getting close to affecting, or triggering. So yeah, I think if a teammate gets triggered, the other teammate should have their car checked as well.
Yeah, no, that's what I have seen is the biggest, I guess you could say, gripe with this rule, because it's like you said, they're obviously their teammates' cars can be set up differently, but like if Leclerc and Hamilton both were in violation, then I feel like their teammates might also have been in violation as well.
Right.
Yeah. But I did also see, so apparently Lewis Hamilton, excluding the outliers, it says Hamilton was 1/10 faster than Verstappen during the race on Sunday.
Oh.
So
that could have
been does give you some speed. Yeah.
You're right. It does give you some speed.
Yes. But so I also went back to, because we were asked this question on Threads today, like what counts as a violation. So the actual article from the FIA states that the mandatory plank fitted to the underside of the cars must not wear below a minimum thickness of 9 millimeters. So, if you're below 8.9, which makes me feel like that's what Leclerc was at, that is what will give you that violation or disqualification.
Where did I see? Because Mark's article did a good job too of kind of just like laying out the facts. So it says blah blah. Yeah, as you can see, I'll read this too. So this is from the FIA's technical regulations. The thickness of the plank assembly measured normal to the lower surface must be 10 millimeters plus or minus 0.2 millimeters and must be uniform when new. A minimum of thickness of 9 millimeters will be accepted due to wear, and conformity to this provision will be checked at the peripheries of the designated holes. So it says the thickness of the plank is required to be 10 millimeters. But yeah, they're saying like, you're coming down a hill, your car is going to bump, it's going to bump into the ground and scrape a little bit. We'll accept anything, anything above 9 millimeters. But yeah, I think you're right. Lewis and Charles were just under that like 8 millimeter or 9 millimeter mark, and that's why they got flagged.
Yeah. So I looked up Michael Schumacher 1994 and why he was his might have been the most famous because it was the first one. So it says the race steward ruled that a mandatory wood plank under, so this was wood at the time, wood plank under his car aimed at slowing drivers down did not meet measurement requirements. It was either too thin or too light, giving him an advantage over his competitors. The stewards of the Belgian Grand Prix have decided to inflict a penalty on Bennett and Ford and driver Michael Schumacher of exclusion from the event. And then it goes on to say the crude board was introduced into the high technology sport halfway through the season in the wake of 2 racing fatalities, which was in the Brazil Grand or the San Marino Grand Prix in May. So that same year is why they entered. And then Michael Schumacher was disqualified. I might sneeze. Thank you. But yes, so because of those 2 being disqualified, Max obviously won. That didn't help anything. Landa moved up to P2 in the in the race, and then Carlos Sainz got P3. And I thought it was hilarious. I posted it today. Go back and find the pictures. This is the 3rd time in Carlos Sainz's career he's been awarded a podium after the race. It happened in 2019 in Brazil. The podium finishers were Verstappen, Hamilton, and Gasly. And then it happened again in 2021. I can't figure out where it's from. It's Esteban, Hamilton, and Sebastian Vettel. And then obviously again this weekend. So he's literally, because I saw automatically, it was like, if I had a nickel for every time Carlos Sainz was awarded a podium after the race, I would have 3 nickels.
The whole concept behind it is funny. And it's hilarious to me because it reminds me of, have you ever seen Ford versus Ferrari, the racing movie?
Clips of it, yeah.
So it's Christian Bale and Matt Damon, and essentially they're hired by Ford to create the Ford GT 500, no, 400, I forget, a race car to beat Ferrari in Le Mans. Yes. I think I could be wrong, but regardless,
I think it is Le Mans
where they're testing the car, and Christian Bale's character is the driver. He's Shelby. He's driving the car and he pulls up and he says there's air getting stuck somewhere. So what they start doing is they start ripping the computers out. They start ripping all the shit out. And all the Ford people are like, whoa, what are you doing? And he was like, we're going to figure out where the air is getting stuck. And they're like, their computers will tell you how to do that, or like where it's getting stuck. And they're like, no, we have our way of doing it. They literally take duct tape and yarn and they cut little pieces of the yarn and they tape it all over the car. So as they're driving, they can see the wind flow. And then the Ford guy has binoculars up and he's looking at the car and he's like, oh, yeah, look at that right there. Like there's the yarn on the front of the car is blowing, but the yarn on the back isn't. So the car is taking the air and just throwing it up and not streamlining it. And it reminds me of that scene because it's like you just said, like it was a wood plank at first. Like,
yeah.
And it's essentially just screwed into the bottom of the car. And it's just, hey, we're going to penalize you depending on how much you make contact to the ground with this. Like
if you wear it down enough, you're going too fast. Like
that's pretty much what it is. So it's like,
no, it is weird. It's wild. It is.
But yeah, it's especially weird because, like we said, it's random teams that are selected, and it's the fact that it happened to two high-profile drivers this year. Or at this race was a little funky, but I mean, just
and
again,
the pole setter.
And the pole setter. It's one of those things that it's like, because it's all random. It's one of those things that it's like, this could happen. Is it likely? Not really, but it could happen, and we just happen to land
two
on
drivers
the percentage that it was going to happen this weekend. You know?
Yeah. No, it is strange. Something to look at now on, but yes, it definitely. But obviously, that hurts Hamilton in the fight for P2.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points for Ferrari to lose out on. I mean, for both of them, with McLaren literally on their tails. So yeah, that was not the best. But yes, moving on, we'll go into more Ferrari and stuff. Red Bull. Max clearly obviously won from P6 this week after his lap time was delayed during quali because of track limits, but it only took him to lap 29 to get to the front.
That's all right. That's pretty good.
That's a little bit longer than I thought. Not going to lie.
What, 56 for this race? Yeah. 56. I mean, that's it's more than halfway.
Yeah. And like we said earlier, it's Max's 50th Grand Prix win. What?
I got confused there for a second. No, it's more than halfway through the race.
It's more than halfway.
Yeah.
But yes, and then I literally could not remember anything with Checo. I mean, he had a decent weekend. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. He ended in the points. He just didn't end on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm a broken record, but obviously I didn't have time to really watch the race, so it was tough for me. But
this upcoming weekend, it's his home race. I feel like Checo will be more of the focus will be more on Checo this weekend. So I feel like we'll pay more attention to him. But yeah, I really can't say anything about Checo.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's sitting at 240 points, and he finished 4th in the race. So he earned himself 16 points. He was 9th in qualifying, and he finished 4th. So he moved up 5 places, which is pretty good. But Hamilton is at 201. So
yeah, I have Mark's other article up about the whole weekend, and it says the 7-time world champion now sees second place finish a race. Because instead of closing the gap to Perez, he now falls behind Perez. So
yeah,
I don't think he's catching Perez. But yeah, I don't really think there was anything crazy with Perez. I mean, he has a lot to prove. But if you pay close attention to Red Bull and AlphaTauri's social media, Daniel Ricciardo is back, but AlphaTauri is posting Yuki and Liam Lawson still.
Really?
Like, they were posting short little TikTok videos from this weekend that they were filming, and it was Yuki and Liam Lawson. And Red Bull is doing a ton with Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen. You wouldn't know Daniel Ricciardo was a driver with AlphaTauri, and technically they're 3rd reserve driver. Yeah, if you pay attention, they're already erasing Checo out of the picture.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're letting us know what's actually coming. So
good to know.
Mm-hmm. I saw someone point that out on social media, and then I went back and I was like, oh my god, it's so true. But yes, so I am excited for a Checo Mexico themed helmet. He never disappoints with a themed helmet for his home race. So
yeah, that would be cool.
I'm excited for that. Yeah, I know we'll have one. Moving on to Ferrari. Obviously, Carlos ended up P3. We just talked about that. He was also supposed to have a one-stop this weekend.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's come back that Charles Leclerc had a one-stop. Charles Leclerc literally went up to Pierre Gasly before the race. And Charles Leclerc says, Charles came to me on the grid before the race and asked if I was going for a one-stop. I said, there's no fucking way.
Damn.
So, but this said, because Leclerc's excellent tire management in Coda is the reason why Ferrari ended up giving him, which they said is the doomed one-stop strategy. And someone posted just a PSA for everyone. Both Ferrari drivers were meant to be on a one-stop. Carlos was put out on a two-stop because his tire management wasn't good, not because he went against the team, because he's a strategic mastermind. Because people were saying that's the reason why he ended up P3. He could get ahead of Charles Leclerc. He wasn't managing his tires well, so he needed to change. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc was managing his tires well. So he could do the one-stop, but then the one-stop obviously was not the move.
Right.
But yes, so I wanted to mention that. But obviously, like I said, Leclerc's pole highlight of the weekend. He was also suffering from a toothache the entire weekend. I kept seeing pictures of him on. No, Sky Italy reported it. But you kept seeing pictures for like Ferrari was posting, other photographers. He kept having something like either his hand was up on his tooth,
right,
or like he had one of the cooling towels or an ice pack. So people were like, "What the hell is happening? Like wrong with Charles Leclerc?" So it went away. So it came back that he had a tooth, like a dental abscess on his tooth, and was in severe pain. And he even said he was on like some big painkillers. So I can't imagine driving around and bumping while your tooth hurts. So
I'm sure it's gotta be brutal. Yeah.
So shout out to you, Leclerc. Round of applause. You're my driver of the day. Shout out to you.
You're driver of your day all the time.
I know. And
like, breathe right, and you're like driver of the day.
He also signed with WME talent agency today. The news was announced, so that's huge.
That was...
But people are saying because they think he really did re-sign with Ferrari. Obviously, it's the worst kept secret of the world. But that maybe he has more independence with this new contract. Because Ferrari can be pretty tight-lipped.
Yeah.
And Charles Leclerc clearly knows he's pretty marketable. He will be the face of F1. If he can win a world championship, he will. So it's pretty huge. Because people are saying, like some of the people they have signed, Serena Williams, there's music acts, there's actors, but like there's other athletes that help them bridge. I think Hamilton signed with them, and I think someone said Alex Albon, which I thought was random, but yes, good move, Leclerc.
Good move.
Yes. My alarm's going off. Besides Hamilton for Mercedes, it was just the penalty for George Russell in the sprint race, but didn't really stop anything. It wasn't like major difference.
Right.
I just put because he started behind Max Verstappen, and people were like, Max Verstappen, George Russell will take you out. So
he is the most dangerous man off the start.
I literally said, I was like, George the Tower Russell, you need to be out in full swing today. So, but he wasn't. He played by the rules. But yes.
He did play by the rules.
What?
Just thought of something to add at the end. We'll talk about it.
Besides, we can end on your faves. So we'll go to Haas and Alfa Romeo. Didn't really have anything noticeable, I don't think. Besides Alfa Romeo boys showing up in full cowboy uniform, and they pulled it off.
Yeah,
so besides that,
good.
I think it was like a thing with F1 TV. They like went to a place and picked out cowboy boots and stuff, but I didn't see it. AlphaTauri, Yuki Tsunoda, fastest lap.
Yeah.
You go, Yuki. Yeah, we're in.
Nothing. It's just that's fantastic.
And he literally did, because I was watching the highlights before. He literally did the fastest lap on the last lap of the race. So
good for him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, besides Haas and both Aston Martin started from the pit lane. So there was 4 drivers that started from the pit lane. William Logan Sargent finishes in the points for the first time in America.
That's just it's so fitting for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And it's the first time an American scored points in 30 years. The last American scored points was Michael Andretti. So
that is hilarious.
But yes, you go, Logan Sargent. We were all excited for you. Williams had a decent weekend. They're not going to finish last. What?
Go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
I looked up. I went to F1's website and I looked up the fastest laps from this weekend. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in front of Max Verstappen today over this weekend for fastest lap.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it goes Yuki, Daniel Ricciardo, George Russell,
AlphaTauri,
Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Lando Norris, and then Max.
Wow. Maybe he's like, I don't need the points. I already won the championship.
Like Yuki Tsunoda's average speed, I don't know if this is in miles per hour or kilometers per hour, was 202, 231, right? For Max Verstappen's average speed was 198, 412.
Oh my God.
So Yuki had him by 4 units of whatever that is.
Yeah.
But
maybe the Red Bull fully powered is not as strong as we all think because he wasn't able to get his 30-second gap. So
yeah.
But the fact that both AlphaTauris were 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Yuki with a 138, 139, and Daniel. Why call him that?
Daniel.
Ricciardo with a 139, 366. Yeah.
I mean, Ricciardo did still finish last, but it's okay. Because of the 2 disqualifying cars and then 3 people that retired. But yeah, I mean, Logan Sargent and Alex Albon finished 9th and 10th, so that's 3 points for them. But I don't think someone said that they should not be. They're not one of the teams to be finishing last. So no, it's AlphaTauri, Haas, and Alfa Romeo with 10, 12, and 16 points. Williams has 26 after them. So
10, 12, and 16 points. Yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah. You go, James Val. But besides that, Alpine, they
besides
had an
having
okay
the coolest
weekend.
fucking helmet on the grid.
Oh no, that was his last year's helmet, I think.
What?
He was using the Spider-Man helmet, but I think he posted that last year.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe
he was wearing a Spider-Man helmet. And
I know.
I refuse to believe. Nobody said this to me. I'm not like fighting with anybody here. This is just my own headcanon. I refuse to believe that it's a coincidence that he wore that helmet the same weekend that the Spider-Man 2 video game came out.
Oh, it's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
The man loves Marvel himself, so it's not a coincidence at all.
And I know for a fact, I think I tweeted it from, I can't remember, I think it was on Twitter. And I said, you just know that this man is playing that video game in between sessions. Like, he has to be playing it. And I just thought, coolest helmet on the grid.
That's why he crashed into him and Oscar made contact at the beginning of the race, and he had to retire so he could go play the video game.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I respect him for that.
No, I also loved Pierre Gasly's helmet for multiple reasons. It was a tribute to, I'm going to butcher the last name, Francois Servet. It's a French name, clearly. A French driver who lost his life 50 years ago in Watkins Glen. So because we were just in Watkins Glen, I went back and looked it up. But he spent time with Sir Jackie Stewart, Pierre Gasly, because they were very close friends and their families were close, and he was very affected by him passing away.
Wow.
So if you look at the helmet Pierre Gasly made and the helmet that Francois actually wore, it's perfect. Like, the design is so good. But yeah, so I went back and looked at the video. I mean, the video is black and white. But he crashed at Watkins Glen, like, during a free practice, I think he said, or a qualifying. But, like, at the time, they had guardrails. So his car, like, flipped over. And then the one video they're showing, they're craning the car out, but they had to put a blanket over because they couldn't get his body out without taking the car off first.
Oh, gosh.
So, so it was tragic. But But still, yeah, I enjoyed his helmet probably the most this weekend. But besides that, they came out of the woodwork with some crazy investors. Alpine.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Let me bring up the actual list. So it's Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Rory McIlroy. Who else? Where is it?
There's a couple other in there, but they're all from different sports, so that's what I really like.
Yeah,
about
there's Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's a Liverpool FC football player. Juan Matea is also a football player. And then a boxer by the name of Anthony Joshua. Sorry, I could not figure out how to say his name for some reason. But yes, so Rory McIlroy was there this weekend. There's pictures of him helping Esteban Ocon. They both showed up in Chiefs jerseys. And then the Anthony Joshua was helping warm up Pierre Gasly before the race, like when Pierre does the tennis ball reflex exercise. But yeah, so they're all part of that same group that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have. I'm losing the name on it's like starts with an O. That investment group. Now these people are also in it. So, yes.
I know the name of the group too, but I'm also blanking on the name. It's escaping me right now. But yeah, it's within that Rob McElhenney, Ryan Reynolds group.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's huge for Alpine.
Yeah,
who's in shambles. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I literally said, I was immediately posting, I said, Rob McElhenney, Philly. Travis Kelce, related to Jason Kelce. I said, we're 1.5 steps closer to that Philly GP.
Are almost there. Almost
so close.
There.
Like, if I turn on the Phillies game later and Rob McElhenney's there and Pierre Gasly's sitting next to him, I'm going to book it down to Citizens Bank Park.
Oh, you know Rob McElhenney's going to be there. Absolutely.
Oh, I know. But yes, besides their new investors, we mentioned it, Esteban Ocon had another DNF. He had another retirement.
Yes, he did.
He has the most out of this season. I think we were at 6 before, so yeah.
Sounds right, yeah.
Can't get any worse. But he had contact with Oscar at the beginning. I took a screenshot. So it said, on the rundown to turn 2 with Ocon on Piastri's right, the Alpine racer's front left wheel hit the right-hand side pod of the McLaren. The incident brought sufficient damage to see Ocon retire from the race on lap 6, and then Piastri followed 4 laps later, having suffered a gradual loss of water pressure. So, yeah, wasn't a great weekend for Ocon and Piastri.
No, it was not. They always just know how to ruin the news of new investors.
They really do, because when they announced Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, they had a double DNF.
Yep.
So
they both race.
Yeah. I'm also just waiting for Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce to make an appearance at the paddock, but we'll see when that happens. But someone said, I might have posted that Fernando Alonso can finally meet his rumored girlfriend from a few weeks ago, for a few months ago, if Travis brings her. So.
If Travis brings her. Are they officially dating? What's the word on that? Are they?
No, I think they're officially dating. She was at the game again.
I saw that, but I don't know if it's. I can't genuinely tell if it's them buying into it or if they're officially dating now.
No, I think that they're officially dating, because when they showed up at Saturday Night Live together, when Pete Davidson, he was spotted leaving her apartment the next day before he went to the Eagles game. She was there again. She's been in his house with the family before each game.
Oh. All right.
And then there was a picture of him and her and then 2 other people, I think another couple from the Chiefs. And she's kissing his cheek. So I think they're legit actually dating. Which
the
is
fact that they got memed into dating each other is hilarious to me.
No,
but
I don't think we're really going off. I don't think they got memed into it. I think when he mentioned that he tried slipping her a bracelet with his number on it, they were already talking. I agree with the fans. That was his soft launch. And then it just snowballed. Yeah.
Imagine thinking that you could soft launch Taylor Swift.
I know.
That's a bold move right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all right, hey, cool. Yeah, it worked out for him.
Yeah. But moving on, Aston Martin was uneventful for them again.
They both had
true. They both had issues literally from FP1 on, and it just never got better. I think Lance Stroll might have done 6 laps during FP1.
I did see he was out very early during FP1. I was able to watch that, and he was out like right away.
They were having brake issues the whole weekend, both cars. Lance Stroll retired during the sprint race, and then Alonso obviously retired during the Grand Prix, but much later. He almost finished Alonso, but then retired. Which I feel like sucks even more than retiring super early. Retiring's like a lap before it ends, or...
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, think of how many races ago where George Russell, it was like the race for third, and he crashed.
Oh, yeah.
Literally the last corner. Like, that's just like... I don't
all that work for nothing.
Yeah, what to compare that to? Because it's like, you do the whole thing, and then it's like, oh, fuck. I just ruined it. Like... And
it's like a baseball game having a lead into the 9th and then giving it up when the home team goes up to bat last.
That's a great example of it. It's you go through this whole thing and you're like, I'm doing so good, I'm competing, we're racing, and then just all of a sudden it's like drop of a hat. It's like, all right, well now you have to DNF and you don't get any points, you don't get to finish this race, and basically everything you just did for the past 30 laps means nothing. Like
nothing.
It's like, fuck. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I'd rather go out early.
I would 100% rather go out early. Yeah. I would rather have something wrong with the car, 15 laps, within that 15 lap window. That's what I would like. Or 20 laps, let's say. Because then at that point, you're well into the race and you're like, we're going. We're getting to the end of this race. Like,
yeah. But yes, as Owen said, it was eventful because
my boys McLaren, they did the damn thing.
The papaya team.
The papaya team. They did the damn thing. They unfortunately, like you mentioned, we had Oscar DNF the race. He had to pull out because he said he had contact with Esteban Ocon.
Which lap 10 for him.
Yeah, which sucks because I didn't see the collision happen. When I was trying to watch the race, I was flipping back and forth between the race and one of the football games because we were, wedding in the bridal suite. Wasn't just me.
I would say as you're trying to get ready for the wedding.
Yeah. So I'm flipping back and forth. We flipped it into it, and I saw that Oscar was out. So I was a little bummed about that, but I was happy with Lando. And then I was happy with Lando because he finished in third, which I was like, fantastic. That's great. That'll put you. I couldn't remember off the top of my head at the time. I was like, I don't know if that puts you over Aston Martin already. If it does, fantastic. If it doesn't, you're damn close. Like,
well, yeah. After the sprint, they only needed 6 points, so that put them ahead.
Right. So. Which, yeah, and then at the time too, I wasn't calculating the sprint into it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did the damn thing. They're above them now. So I'm looking at the team standing now, and Aston Martin is sitting at 236 points, and McLaren is sitting at 242. So they have a little bit of a separation. It's not the most comfortable, separation. I would definitely love if they could perform again this weekend in Mexico and just get more of that separation. They are, like we mentioned earlier, they're Ferrari in front of them now is sitting at 322 points. So
that's far.
That's an 80-point spread, and that's going to be difficult to make up for the end of the year. It basically means that they're going to do that. They're going to have to
like a double podium every week.
Yeah, they're going to have to sweep the end of the series. And Mark actually wrote about this too in his article. Like, it pretty much means that Ferrari and Mercedes in front of them, because they technically have a chance for second, basically just have to DNF here on out, and McLaren has to sweep here on out and get double podiums here on out to make that climb. But the best thing about this are the driver standings.
Oh, I didn't look at this.
So I'll say this. Leclerc currently sits at 7th, right? With
That's depressing.
151 points.
Mm-hmm.
Lando Norris currently sits at 6th with 159 points. Carlos Sainz currently sits at 5th with 171 points. Fernando Alonso currently sits at 4th with 183 points. It is feasible with the way that Ferrari's luck goes sometimes, and with the way Aston Martin has completely switched sides and has just been completely flipped with McLaren from the beginning of the season, it's feasible that Lando Norris could finish in 4th this year.
Ooh.
And it's like...
That'll be huge.
That would be fantastic. And it would speak volumes for McLaren themselves as a team, just like shouting to this world of like, we have 2 very serious contenders and very good
for the next few years.
Yeah, we have them locked up and we're fucking coming. Like that is exactly what that shouts. And it's like, I mean, that's the thing. Theoretically, let's say Lando gets 2nd for Mexico, right? Carlos gets, I don't know the math off the top of my head. Carlos gets 6 of the below, I think, would be the point spread. He's going to pass him. He's going to pass him within a race.
I can see him, and we mentioned before, both Ferraris are going to have a power unit penalty at some point within the next 2 races in Mexico or Brazil. So
correct.
And the way they go,
it's a real possibility, and it makes me so excited. And they don't have any point of slowing down right now.
No.
And it's fantastic to watch. So
they have all the momentum.
I just looked it up. So if Lando gets 2nd, right, he gets 18 points. So that would put him over. That would get him to
over Carlos.
That would get him over Carlos. That would get him to 177 points, which is currently a 6-point spread from him, which would be
but that's if Carlos retires or doesn't score any points.
Right. So if Carlos gets anything 8th or worse and Lando gets 2nd, we're good. But essentially, if Lando gets anything less than 3rd, Carlos has to not finish in the points. That's what has to happen. So Lando in 3rd or better, and Carlos no points for him to overtake him in the next race. And it's like,
that's doable.
If we would have been talking about this in the beginning of the season, it would have been a laughing matter between the 2 of us.
Especially after the first race when like they literally were just doing practice sessions because they both were lapped like how many times by Max? Yeah,
so many times.
I never would have expected them to be.
But now we're sitting here and we're legitimately saying that Lando has a serious chance to overtake Carlos Sainz in the Drivers' Championship, which would be great. I wish I could say the same for Oscar Piastri. He has a much larger point spread between him and George Russell. George Russell's currently at 8th with 143 points. Piastri is 9th with 83. So he could definitely make up some ground, and finishing top 10.
Your rookie season?
Your rookie season, that's fucking great.
You have a race win as a sprint race? No.
And even, I'll say this too, because Gasly sits behind Piastri right now with 56 points. Piastri has 83. There's 22 drivers on the grid. If you finish within the top half of those drivers, your rookie season, that is a win. Hats off to you. Fantastic. That is
he's winning Rookie of the Year. There's no question.
Oh,
he's probably the most successful. He's probably had the most successful rookie season for McLaren since Lewis Hamilton. And think about that.
So good, and he is. Yeah, he's got 9 top 10s out of his 17 races we've had so far. That is
Yeah.
wild. Like,
That's wild. I hope they can carry this confidence and momentum into next season. Like, I know they're probably already working on the car. It's probably almost finished, but I hope it goes into next season because it would be if they could be the top challenger with Red Bull, that'd be insane.
I would be really curious to see if they performed like this at the start of the year, where would we be? They would be probably ahead of Mercedes and Ferrari. They would. I think they would. Yeah. The question to me would be, would Lando be ahead of Perez? Would Perez still be in second? What would be the
fight for a P2 be even tighter? Yeah.
Like what?
I think it would be different.
And I agree with you. I would love if they could carry this momentum over to next year and just hit the ground running. And I can't say that it's looking like they will because obviously we don't know. But if they're taking what they're learning from this car and implementing into next year's car, I'm begging that they are on the track for second place next year.
Yeah,
so nice.
That'd be wild. I would own every piece of merch.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it. But yeah, that's fine. They did that. They did the damn thing, and it was so nice to watch them. And
they did the damn thing.
But
and they're going to continue to do it. But no, I agree. Do you have anything else from the race or no?
I don't have anything from the race, but there is a little bit of news that
I forgot about this.
Did not talk about that I am so excited for as well, because not only does it star Lando Norris, but it combines two of my favorite things right now, and that is golf and Formula One. So
genius move by Netflix. Genius.
When I saw this news come out, I was so happy because we had talked about this before. Because there was a rumor that it was going to happen. It was a rumor,
yeah. And we were like speculating which drivers were going to be on it and all this stuff. Yeah.
And when Netflix came out and tweeted it and basically said, hey, this is what we're going to do, I was like, this is so good. And I tweeted it from our account. I said, I was like, this is pure genius from Netflix. It's you're taking your most successful sports document series and combining it with your newest. And it just makes so much sense. And we've talked numerous times about Lando having a big golf presence. Carlos already played in a golf tournament this year and everything, Yeah,
he also is huge.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. So it's going to be called...
Pierre Gasly is the one that I don't get why he's in it, but it's okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be called the Netflix Cup, and it's going to stream live on Netflix on November 14th at 6 p.m. So that's a Tuesday night. That is right in our recording time. So whether we live stream it, whether we do something.
And I was talking to, spoiler alert, I was talking to Kyle about doing stuff with other people to live stream it because it'd be too perfect not to live stream. So yeah.
I think it would be a really good opportunity for it. And I definitely want to block off some amount of time to watch this and stream this and watch it live. But yeah, so it's going to have Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, Lando Norris, and Carlos Sainz. And then the PGA Tour golfers are going to be Ricky Fowler, Max Homa, Colin Morikawa, and Justin Thomas. And if you've watched Full Swing, those are all people that they covered during the show, so you should be at least a little familiar with it. But essentially what it's going to be is... says 4 pairs consisting of 1 Formula One driver and 1 PGA Tour professional will play an 8-hole match with the top 2 teams advancing to the final hole, where they will battle for the chance to win the inaugural Netflix Cup title. So I would love it. The only way this could be better for me is if Lando Norris and Justin Thomas got paired, because that's my obviously favorite Formula One driver. That's my favorite PGA golfer.
Yeah. Right, I wonder if they can pick or if they've already got it figured out. Because
I'm sure they have it figured out now. Like,
I'm also not shocked because the guy who just won the Masters, was he in the show?
Fuck.
Or no?
John Rahm. John Rahm just won the Masters, right? Masters 2023. He was not in the show. Yeah, John Rahm won. He was not
Because-
covered in
and
the
then-
show. There's clips of him in there, but he's not covered.
He was not one of the main. And then I was so confused because I was like, why is Pierre here? And then I went back and looked because I was like, is Rory here? Because that would make sense. But Rory's not there. So Pierre is the one I would not have picked to be.
Yeah. Rory's in it. Rory is he's in the last episode.
Yeah, but he's not one of the golf. He's not one of the golf people, and that's why I would think if Pierre was in it and Rory was in it because of the new investor news, that would make sense.
Right.
They'd be paired up. That would make sense. But the other three make perfect sense to be in the show. I said I hope Alex Albon's girlfriend, who is a pro women's golfer, can be like a sideline reporter or something because I just need her roasting them during.
Oh yeah. I'll be honest with you. It will be a missed opportunity by Netflix if they do not pull her in for some form
in
of
some way
commentating, even if it's just like a quick like, hey, hole 7, we're gonna talk to. I'm blanking on her name. I feel like an asshole.
Lily.
Lily. We're gonna pull in Lily just to commentate while Alex plays hole. While they play hole number 7. It's 100%. Yeah. Like, that would be such a missed opportunity if Netflix didn't pull her in. But yeah, I'm so excited for this to happen. I've never seen anything live streamed on Netflix before, so like from a technological standpoint too, I'm curious to see how that works.
Well,
but
it's their first sporting one. Last year, they tried doing the live Love Is Blind reunion.
Right.
On Netflix, and it failed miserably. So I would hope the sports was a little bit easier. They have it figured out by now. So yeah, I will be interested to see how it'll be. I think it'll be exciting. I know nothing about golf. I'll be there for the F1 drivers only. So
yeah, I'm super excited for this. So yeah,
and I'm happy they're doing it the week of Vegas. I called that before. I said if they don't, they're going to do it the week of Vegas because they'll be in America. It'll be the easiest time. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
They'll probably, is it the golf course where the globe thing peeks at you? Is that the golf course?
I just quit out of the article. Let me see if it actually is in here.
I also, before we go to our predictions, news came out today about the Vegas GP, and they're having an opening ceremony on Wednesday night. It's going to be So I literally posted, is this the Olympic opening ceremonies or the F1 Vegas GP opening ceremonies?
Yeah.
So they confirmed the opening ceremonies will be on Wednesday, November 15th. You'll be able to watch on ESPN2 or YouTube TV. I'm going to assume F1 TV as well. The opening ceremony will consist of all 20 drivers, Cirque du Soleil, the Blue Man Group, and 9 musical guests. That's Andre Day, Bishop Briggs, J Balvin, Journey, Keith Urban, Steve Aoki, Swedish House Mafia, 30 Seconds to Mars, and Will.i.am.
30 Seconds to Mars is going to be there?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's going to be on the grid, so will be interesting to see that. But yes.
Yes, this is the course.
The same one.
The sphere looks at you. This was also the course. I don't know if you saw it when it was happening, where Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, Travis Kelce. Yeah.
Travis Kelce. They played their match against Who was that? Was that Steph Curry and somebody else?
Yeah, 2 basketball players. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they had that match.
Okay.
For anyone who watched
that makes sense.
So
I did watch that. Yeah. That was fun.
Super excited.
Yes.
For that. Cannot wait.
Okay, moving on. Mexico. Moving on. Mexico.
Moving on.
Obviously, we said Mexico GP, Sergio Perez's GP. Will he announce his retirement? Is that Reddit thread correct? We will never know. Well, we might know.
We'll find out.
Yes. So I didn't change the times, did I? I didn't change the times except for. No, I have them up. So it's October 27th, 28th, and 29th. Obviously, October 27th, practice 1 is at 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. Practice 2 is at 6 to 7 p.m. Practice 3 on Saturday is 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Qualifying is 5 to 6 p.m. And then the race is Sunday, October 29th at 4 p.m. Love afternoon races. Actually, I don't. I said I appreciate the early morning races because I can literally get up and watch them and then go on with my day.
Yeah.
The track is 17 turns with 71 laps. It's 4.3 kilometers long. So it's just over like 6.5 miles, or a little bit over, more than that. It's 2 DRS zones and 1 speed trap. That long straight at the end. Red Bull literally might take flight.
Oh yeah.
The past 2 winners were Max Verstappen in 2021 and 2022. And then the lap record is held by Valtteri Bottas, which was in 2021. We can do our predictions, and then there's so many sirens outside. And then I wanted to talk about one other thing with the race, and I completely forgot, so we'll go back to it. But predictions. It's a normal race, no sprint, so just one set of... And I'll write them down so I can post them again.
Can I do speed again? Because I kind of liked that yesterday. Or not yesterday, last week.
Last week? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no thought to it?
No thought
Let
to
me put
it.
who you're putting P1.
Pure, like I did last time. Just got to visualize it, you know. You know what?
You're putting thought into it.
Verstappen, Lando. I don't know. I can't think of anybody. Verstappen, Lando. I want to go with like a shock one.
Oh, I'm not. You're going to be shocked by my answer.
I'm gonna go. It's not really a shock, but George Russell. Not really a shock.
Oh, I mean, that's a shock. Okay, I'm going to do Verstappen, Lando,
Okay.
Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
Might be the first time in 33 episodes I have not said Leclerc on the podium, so...
Casey wants McLaren in third or fourth place.
I said I think Oscar Piastri was quoted as saying it was a very humbling weekend. So I think he's on a mission to get back. But yes.
I'm sure it was a humbling weekend for him, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, one thing before, I've had multiple conversations about this on People with Threads. So clearly I was watching some of the race. I didn't really see the podium celebrations. Max Verstappen was booed. That's one thing.
Was he really?
Yes. But so people were saying, like, they get it. They're, like, offended, like, why is booing? And I literally have posted multiple people. I said, one, booing in American sports is normal. I said, maybe this is the Philadelphia sports fan in me. And I said, but we boo our own teams when they're not playing well.
Yeah.
So it's normal. Someone said to me, booing is not, like, an offensive thing. They've booed Hamilton. They've booed Michael Schumacher. They've booed Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah.
They literally boo everyone. If you're in the lead by that much, they're going to boo you. So I don't get that. Booing is normal. It's going to happen in American sports. Max Verstappen will most likely be booed this weekend in Mexico because Checo Perez fans will probably boo Max Verstappen.
Oh, 100%.
And it's not even, because I know Max was booed in Monza, and literally Charles Leclerc, like, told the crowd to, like, be quiet. Like, that's any sports fans. I mean, there's, like, European football fans, they're passionate. They're gonna boo. So that's what I don't get. But I did not appreciate, I saw, apparently they were chanting Checo's name during the Dutch national anthem. Like, if you're on the TV, you heard it. Like, if you're watching the broadcast. So that is, that's not respectful, because it's not. Yeah. But, because there was a lot of Checo fans there. But yeah, booing is going to happen. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
Like you said, natural happen. Sport. And I definitely, I can definitely see the point of, like, booing definitely happens more in American sports than it does in other places around the world. You know, I think American fans tend to lean more into the idea of, like, this is a competition, so screw those other guys. Whereas other places are, hey, this is a competition, but I respect, you know, these other people. They do the same thing that my team does, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, that's booing is going to happen.
I think it'd be weird if he wasn't booed. Like, I think it'd be weird if he wasn't booed.
Yeah, it would be weird to me too. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that because that's not going away. So sorry, people.
Not anytime soon.
I mean, literally, Philadelphia Phillies fans were booing Craig Kimbrell as he came onto the field last night because
they'll probably do it again tonight if he comes.
I don't think he'll be used tonight. But yes, booing is normal. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But on that note, do you want to close us out?
I will close us out. I gotta go make some dinner.
Oh my god! You just wait. You're back. You you were really frozen, and then you came back really fast.
And it happened to you too, so that's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for listening today. It was a little bit of a longer episode. We talked about a lot.
I knew. I had a feeling it was going to be.
Yeah, I had a feeling too. But yeah, thank you for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode or if you enjoy our other episodes, please give us a follow at Underground F1 on Instagram and Threads. Right now, we're at 546 followers on Threads.
I had to update it.
When we last recorded, which was last week, we were at what, 412?
Yeah, I updated to 412.
Which is fucking wild. So
it's insane.
Please keep it coming. I got my first taste of Threads this weekend with tweeting during the sprint shootout on Threads, and you guys are great. It was interacting between so many people and messaging back and forth and commenting back and forth, and it's fantastic.
Threads, we love you.
I did put on Threads too that if anybody wants to join the fun on Twitter, come on over, and I linked our handle. That handle is underground_F1. So like I said, come join us on Twitter. You know, right now we're at 83 followers. I really want to close that gap on Casey right now. You know, she's killing me.
Yeah, right now.
Killing me right now. This was a driver championship. Casey would have won already. But regardless, yeah.
We're also one away from 200 followers on Instagram.
Oh, look at that. We need that one more follower. That is fantastic. We're really, you know, it's insane. It's insane to see all this growth that we recently have and all the new followers. And like I said, people to interact with on social media. And it makes us a hell of a lot more fun, you know, and it sometimes doesn't feel like you're screaming or tweeting or posting into a void, but that is, yeah. But thank you so much. We love it. We love to see it. Casey posted before we recorded today any questions anybody has right before we started recording, and we did get an answer back, which was fantastic. It was about the planks, but we post pretty often about anything you want us to talk about. If you want us to talk about anything, feel free to please respond to those posts. Please also feel free to shoot us an email at undergroundf1pod@gmail.com. Check it every day. We're looking at it all the time. If you have any questions or if there's anything you want us to talk about, please shoot us an email there or shoot us a message on Twitter or shoot us a message on Threads. Any way you can think of, we'd love to hear from you. We talked about it last week a little bit, but we just, you know, are new to the sport. We hope to learn as much as we can. And if there's a question that you have that we don't know the answer to, we'll figure it out. That was, you know, the planks today. The planks was a learning experience. So it was really cool to figure that out. And now that's something I know more about the sport. Now that's something that Casey knows about the sport. So we love that. And finally, please go follow our main YouTube page. That is at Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's where you can get full video episodes of this podcast and all the other podcasts on the Underground Sports Network. It follows Underground Sports Philly, Top Bins, Streamer Season, Get in the Hole, blah, 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 who we might be partnering with for, you know, Netflix's live golfing event. They're trying to reach 600 as soon as possible. Right now, I have a number listed at 590. I had a thought that we did.
I think we hit it last week after we finished recording. I feel like Kyle was posting.
Son of a bitch. Let me.
Sorry, I should have updated it.
No, that's fine. I could have updated it too. But yeah, keep growing that show. The more we get, the more we grow the show, and the more we get more people.
More content we can put out.
The more content we can put out, and the more things that YouTube will let us do. Right now, we're at 617, which is fantastic. Yeah. We love to see that. So we're trying to get to 1,000 because I'm pretty sure around 1,000 is where all those different things unlock. We can do more live streams. We can do a whole bunch of other shit. So please go follow. Thank you so much for listening today and my long-winded goodbye rant. And we will see you after the Mexican GP.
Goodbye. Go Phils.
Go Phils. Yeah. We might be depressed the next time you hear us.
Yeah.